A man is willing to identify himself with Jesus. I remember the very first college football game I ever went to, the first Division I college football game I ever went to was at Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia. Beautiful stadium. I never will forget. I mean, I walked in, I saw, I was like, oh, I've never seen a stadium that big. But I was there for a Clemson-Carolina game. And I was a kid. And my father had bought tickets, but he bought the tickets for us right in the middle. We were in the middle of the Gamecock section. I mean, there was nobody around us Clemson fans. Nobody. Me, my mom, and my dad, who had had a beer or 12 by the time we got there. And so he bought me one of those big foam #1 fingers. And so I was the obnoxious kid. This is what we did not do. We did not say, all right, here's the deal. We're going into Williams-Brice. This is hostile territory. It's where the enemy lives. And we're pulling for the team that we know is the winner. But we don't want to expose ourselves to any criticism or ridicule. So we're going to go to this souvenir stand and we're going to buy some Carolina shirts and just wear them over our Clemson shirts. What we're going to do is kind of blend in with the crowd. And when Clemson scores, we'll cheer, but we'll kind of do one of those things right there. We won't get loud. And when Carolina scores, we'll cheer, but we won't mean it. And after the game, we will have the satisfaction of knowing that we cheered for the winning team without ever having to have identified with the winning team. See, you would look at us if we'd have done that and said, well, you're not true fans. Ladies, if you got a guy that won't identify himself with Jesus, no matter what he writes on his Facebook profile, no matter how many fish he has on his car, he's not a true follower. Because real men will identify themselves with Jesus. Real men will identify themselves with Jesus in basically 3 ways. The way they talk. Will they actually have a conversation with you about Jesus, or do they say, that stuff's private, we shouldn't talk about that stuff? See, that's weak sauce. Weak. Will he talk to you about Jesus? Because see, ladies, listen to me. If he won't talk to you about Jesus, then one day when you get married and you have kids, he won't talk to them about Jesus either. And you can find out a lot about a man when you start. Listen, here's a great question for you on your first date. You're sitting at the restaurant, you sit down, you order your food, you look him straight in the eye and you say, so tell me how you met Jesus. Right there you'll see what he's got. There will be no mistake. The way he talks. Second was the way he leads. Like, ladies, if the man's identifying himself with Jesus, he's not going to lead you into an area of compromise. He's not going to lead you to an area of compromise. He's not going to lead you to where you have to step up and be the leader and tell him to stop. Number 3 is the way he serves. I'm just going to ask this question to every lady in the room that happens to be in a relationship, dating or married. It's a great question for those of you that are married to talk about later on today. Do you get the feeling that in the relationship, it's all about him or all about you? Because a man who pursues his wife will do so in such a way that his wife doesn't perceive responding to him as work at all. Now, I know men will push back and go, you don't know my wife. I'm sure I don't. I'm quite sure I don't. But here's what I know, men. We are called to love our wife like Christ loved the church. He never stopped pursuing the church, even when the church stopped responding to him. Ever. That's what a man who loves Jesus will do. I didn't say it was easy. I said that's what a man who identifies himself with Jesus will do.